What did we think? Woo! Guys. So nice to see a thriller. A well done thriller. This movie is obviously about surveillance in the name of safety. And it's never a cut and dry topic, due to the concern of violation of privacy, right? Can you talk a little bit about what got your wheels spinning on the issue and what is safety and what is a violation of privacy?
So it was exactly that. I was in Mumbai in 2016. That was the first time I went to Mumbai. And that's when they were doubling the cameras in the city. And there were tons of articles in newspapers talking about how it's going to help the city fight crime, how it's going to be a great thing. I mean, those benefits are there. I'm not going to say they are not. But there was not even a single article about privacy issues. And I was so surprised. I mean, going from the West, you think privacy would be talked about also, but there was not even a single article. I kept researching and I couldn't find anything. And that sort of triggered it. I'm like, well, what if things were to go wrong? What about the people who are behind these cameras? Do they have any mental health help? Because in US, all the 911 operators, they get a lot of breaks in between because it's a really tough job. And they also get mental health help. But in India, there is no such thing. And we even went to, we were lucky enough to go to the Mumbai Surveillance Center, Pune Surveillance Center, and Navi Mumbai Surveillance Center. They welcomed us. And when we talked to the operators about if they have any help in that sense, where they can go check into a clinic for mental health, they just didn't even understand the concept. So that triggered that whole idea that this is worth looking into.
Yeah, that was going to be my next follow-up question. Actually, is how much time did you spend in the surveillance centers? What was the research like? And did you get to follow a couple of different people for a long period of time? What was the research like?
We didn't follow any one person. And so first, I worked the screenplay first, right? And when that was done, with a lot of research, obviously, and it takes time to get into these facilities. They don't let you in right away. It takes months and months to get permission. So when we went in there and when we saw a few more things, that's when we changed the script a little bit to make sure it reflects what actually happens there. So it wasn't based on any one person. It's a culmination of all the operators who are working there day in, day out, who are, by the way, very numb to many things. So there were operators that were showing us accidents that they captured, and our whole team would just shake or move, and they had no reaction because they were so numb to all that at this point, because they see it day in, day out, all these accidents and all these killings. So that was very interesting to see also. They don't jump when they see something.
Yeah. I'm sure that's profound to, for you guys to be there, and I can understand that's really jarring because they're not reacting at all. Then what are they really even watching for, right? What is an emergency at that point, right?
I mean, they're still reporting crimes.
Of course, yeah.
But the emotion is out of it completely.
Right.
How doctors don't react to,
of course, yeah.
So they are at that point. But the unfortunate thing is that not having any help or not having any conversation about what they're watching, we don't know what kind of implications it's going to have later on in life for these people.
Right.
What kind of trauma, it's going to trigger.
Exactly. So we're pivoting very nicely in this conversation. And it is called privacy, and it deals with so many layers of secrecy that these characters, and specifically Rupali, is so desperate to keep private. Right, and so do you want to elaborate on how you landed on centering a woman's story of untreated PTSD and trauma in the context of privacy?
So I'll talk about privacy first. So another interesting thing about Mumbai is when you go there, it's visually striking but shocking at the same time. It's not you just have upper class, middle class, and lower class. There are 6 or 7 classes that exist in that city, where someone's sleeping on the floor, someone's sleeping in a tenement housing, someone sleeping in a slum, and then you have the ultra wealthy. And we couldn't even afford to show the ultra wealthy in this film, but there are so many different classes. And the more money you have, the more privacy you have. The less money you have in that city means no privacy whatsoever. That's another thing I wanted to explore with this film, was that class difference, meaning no privacy at all. Talking about a woman still dealing with work issues, dealing with all the gender politics at work. All those are very realistic things. That those things still happen there. I mean, if you go to these facilities, all the officers are still men, and all the operators are 95% are women, and they have no say in anything. They're just operators. So yeah.
And Rajshri Deshpande, how about that performance from her, right? Had you known each other before the film, and how much was she involved in sort of influencing Rupali's journey?
She actually came on board very late onto the project, so she wasn't involved in the writing process. But the day she read the script, and the following day when we met, I knew that she was the one, because she had such a great understanding of the character. She just fell in love with Rupali, and when we sat down and we talked about the character, she just knew that she had shades of gray. She's not a black and white character, and you don't hear that from every actor. Sometimes people don't get that. People could be more than black or white. They could have all these different shades. So she understood it so well, and the conversations we started having were amazing. So I knew when we had breakfast the following morning, and that's when I knew, okay, she got what Rupali is, and she actually started stalking people right then and there in the coffee shop. So yeah, right away, I knew that she was the one.
That's awesome. So, why was it important to show the struggle of Rupali putting herself in unsafe situations? From following possible crimes, happening in the moment, to just something as not simple, but as complicated as her unbuttoning her shirt to appease the man that she's with in the moment. Yeah, I with the male boss, right? I guess I just want to hear you talk through that, coming up with all of that and the struggle of back and forth, right?
So one of the themes which ties into her trauma, which ties into incest, what she learned while growing up is what men want, right? She saw what her father did to her, and some people catch it, some don't. You see the father doing this gesture to her, and she does the same thing. So these are things she has learned over the years, and she knows what men want. She's not interested in men. I mean, you see her even during when they're kissing, they're making out. She's not into it, but she knows what they want and how she can use that to manipulate them. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It was effective. I mean, turning on the TV, he's not, I mean, he might have heard her turn on the TV, but he's also not, he's got what he wants. Yeah, no, it's very clear. So in your mind, what is it that she wants? What is it that she's looking for? Is it revenge? Is it validation? Is it?
Well, she wants validation at work, but at the end of it all, she just wants a place of her own, which she's being kicked out of. So she has this private space, and now she's not gonna have that either. Yeah. So towards the end, that's all she wants. Validation at work is one of the things she wanted, which she couldn't for a while. That's why she was putting herself in all those dangerous situations, because she couldn't get the same treatment as the other person. The officer was always favoring the other person to solve cases. That's why she had to go the extra mile to see if she can do something different, right, to get credit for those things.
Right. I want to open it up to a couple of questions if anybody wants to ask anything. I'll give you a second to think about it. What's the journey been like for this film? Are you doing? Where are you in your journey of showing the film?
This is the 7th festival. We had our world premiere last year at Bifan in South Korea. This is a Canadian premiere, so thank you so much to iSAFF. It's a beautiful screen.
Yeah.
I think this might be our last festival. We just wanna get distribution and just show the film.
Yeah.
So we're almost there. We're almost done with the festival run of the film.
Are you thinking about what your next thing is already? You still trying to get through this?
I'm writing 2 projects. So a little bit about me. I was born and raised in India for the first 17 years, but I've been in New York for the past 25 years. So I belong to both places and I don't belong to both places. So I'm writing 2 projects. I'm writing one for North America and I'm writing one for India. So those are 2 very different projects. And yeah, whichever happens first.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. Any questions? Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Shobh, you want to go?
Yeah. First of all, congratulations, Sudeep. It's a great movie. We thoroughly enjoyed. I believe everyone was loving it. I would like to know that there was one thing which I really admired you as a filmmaker, because I'm also a filmmaker. So I keep on watching the way it is shot, especially the CCTV part. The way it is, the whole city was shown, though it was very important part of the narrative in so many ways, and which give the right feel of what going through Rupali journey. So how you put across that, integrate into the screenplay, and what was your vision to show the city Mumbai in that perspective? That I would like to know.
The screenplay was very elaborate. My screenplay was very hard to read actually because it was all about POVs. It was all about camera this, camera that, and some of that translated into the movie as well. I mean, it I would say tests some people's patience also because there's almost no dialogue for the first 15-20 minutes, which is something we're not used to in a feature-length film. But yeah, the screenplay had a lot of details, exactly like what's happening on the screen, how grungy the footage should be, and what text should go on those, because there's a whole story happening with the dates, with the locations. I mean, if you watch it again, you'll catch a lot of those. So there's a whole story that's happening, and it was all in the screenplay.
That's great. That's great.
Was it really tough to shoot in India?
So we ended up shooting in Pune. We couldn't afford to shoot in Mumbai. Reason being, it's very, very expensive to shoot in Mumbai, and being a very low budget indie, it was just impossible. So that was one big challenge to show, and Pune is much smaller than Mumbai. So for us, it became a challenge when to open the camera, where to open the camera, where to take the shots, so it doesn't look like Pune, it looks like Mumbai. So that was one of the biggest challenges. If you're asking in terms of professionalism of production, not at all. I mean, they're very professional, they're amazing. It's a little different. I did a short film before this, a couple of years before this. So I was used to the whole hierarchy, because it's a little different. There's a whole hierarchy there, but very professional, none of those issues. Of course, every culture has their learnings and you have to get used to those. But yeah, other than money issues, other than, trying to show Mumbai and Pune, it was a great experience.
Yeah. Hi, I'm so glad to finally see your film. I loved it. I was stunned by it, and normally I'm very articulate, but I feel like I'm not going to be because I'm still moved by it's left an impact. But my question has to do with character. I mean, first of all, I like how you unfolded your character gradually. It was very unexpected, the journey of the character, where you ended up taking it. But my question is about point of view. So as a screenwriter, I'm also a screenwriter, as you know from when we talked a couple days ago. Obviously, you made a very conscious choice to tell a woman's story from a woman's point of view. I'm wondering why you chose to do that. As a man, we get criticized, or as women, we get criticized as well for telling. I tell a lot of stories from the point of view of men, so I get critiqued for that. And I wonder what the reception has been from women in particular, and especially sexual assault survivors. The character's response, or how she like sort of ultimately handles that, is quite unconventional. So I'm very curious about your writing process of the character and how it was received.
See, it wasn't a conscious decision that I would have my protagonist as a female. I always get an image that like before I write, there's an image I see, I start listening to music and I start developing the character. And I always saw an image of a girl looking at all these screens. That always came to me. I mean, it's like something, I don't know why it happened. Because all the surveillance films I had seen before that had always had male protagonists. So I don't know.
That's
so that
just
was,
what came, yeah.
Yeah, so that was one of the reasons. But why not write women? I mean, women are so interesting, and I have great relation. I have a mother, I have a sister, I have a daughter, I have a wife. I spend more time with women than men around me. So, and if you listen to them, if you spend time with them, you can understand them. Why you can write them. So I never thought I can't write, and then get validation of people. I mean, when you write a screenplay, you have friends you share screenplay with. So I have female friends who read the screenplay, and they never doubted, that the voice was coming through fine. And Ratri, I mean, that was the biggest validation when she read it. She didn't feel the character was lacking anything. So again, it wasn't a conscious decision, and it's just an image I saw, and I never want to force myself to make. If I see a woman as my protagonist, I wouldn't force myself and make it a man. And that doesn't mean I don't write any male protagonists. I mean, I'm developing 3 screenplays, and 2 are male leads, and 1 is a female lead again. But it's just, I don't know, I just see the world like that, and I just want to develop that. And then you put yourself in those situations. You think about your mother, you think about your wife, you think about your child, what their issues are, what kind of life they've had, what kind of problems they have had, and then you read. I mean, novels are great. I mean, you have such internal voice. You can read up novels, and you can read the inner voice of a character, and you can learn more about women and men.
I think you did a stunning job with the character in this script, and I was really surprised that I found this character incredibly relatable. So kudos.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
I have time for one more. Oh, yeah, let's see. Yes.
I really want to know this. It's such a big world that you're building, and I love the way that world was built throughout the movie. Even at the last frame, it's still being built. How long? I work on several of Hollywood big films, and I see how many units of filmmaking happens. How long did it take for you to do this production, and did you have to do some reshoots when you finally edited because of the way you crafted the script?
So we shot primarily right before the pandemic, and we couldn't shoot some of it because we were stopped. So March is when we wrapped the principal photography, March 2020, and April is when we were supposed to go shoot Mumbai because we needed a lot of plates, we needed a lot of those things, which we couldn't. Those things were shot in 2021 eventually because we didn't want to shoot people wearing masks because it wouldn't look like the rest of the film. So we had to wait a little. We didn't reshoot anything. That didn't happen because we just had no money to reshoot.
Woo! Yes.